So over my Pokemon videos, we've gone through all kinds of Pokemon stories. Some canon, some implied canon, some fan fiction. But today, we're going through a Pokemon story I can guarantee none of you have ever read before. Introducing Mewtwo and Mew Strikes Back, the 55-page Pokemon chapter book written by yours truly and Tom Zienkowski 13 years ago. We're going to bust open this bad boy and see what's inside of it. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be sincere here. Listen. I'm sorry.
Today, fanfiction is huge, thanks to the wide circulation of the internet. Heck, if you're lucky enough, you can make fanfiction of one book, replace the settings and names of the characters, then release a New York Times best-selling trilogy. Ugh, don't want to talk about that. But 13 years ago, me and my best friend Tommy had some fanfiction of our own. And what else was a popular media franchise in the late 90s as Pokemon? We were Poke fanatics. We played through every game multiple times, recorded almost every episode of Pokemon via VHS, and collected more toys than even I would like to admit. We combined our powers to make an entire book about the series we knew and loved, and the end result is, well, interesting to say the least. Our main motivation came from two sources. One, in anxious waiting for the first Pokemon movie to be released, we ordered the book of the movie from the Scholastic Book Order. After reading through the book and noticing that the plot featured a few as of yet unheard of Pokemon, such as Donphan, we decided to scour the world of dial-up internet to find all the Pokemon information that we could. What we ended up finding was a treasure trove of fan sites, each reporting on upcoming Pokemon Gold and Silver versions. The internet wasn't quite as worldwide at this point, so most of the information that we found was official artwork from Japan, paired with very unofficial translations and speculations from fans. Eager at all this new information, we decided to write a book about what kind of things we imagined could happen in a world with new Pokemon and adventures. One of the coolest things about this book is that it's even intact. Yeah, I've been pretty much reviving my childhood for my entire life, but Tommy's been pursuing the life of business and DJing since. The fact that he even kept the book for nearly 1.5 decades and was able to get it to me today is pretty awesome in itself. Unfortunately, the book itself isn't nearly as awesome as it was in my mind. We were both under 10 years old, and we wrote the book during recess and free time with no overarching plot in mind. We didn't quite know how to write out action sequences well in a medium that normally thrives on animation, and the end result is hilariously terrible. I skipped through a huge middle section of the book, and it still took me over half an hour to read. For those of you willing to deal with some painful plot and an adventure of constant one-hit KOs, I've included an audio file in my read-through, along with a PDF of the entire scanned book in the description below. For those of you who wisely chose not to do that, here's some highlights. Alright, without further ado, we've got Mewtwo and Mew Strikes Back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Right on the cover, the title of the book is a grammatical error. Should be Mewtwo and Mew Strike Back. Also, Agent... Oh, God. Don't you love that bull cut? My author's card. Hi, I am Joshua Wittenkeller. I'm in 3rd grade. Me and Tommy, not Tommy and I, wrote this book because we really like Mew. I like to write books on video games, such as Mario. I hope you will enjoy this Pokemon book. Have fun. Mew 3 used Hyper Beam, Mew used Bubble Beam, and Mewtwo used Psywave. So, I mean, things are starting off pretty good. At page 6, we've already got our own made-up Pokemon, as unoriginal as it is. A battle between 3 Pokemon. We've got all kinds of lasers and blasts going in all 3 directions. Awesome illustration where only Mew is colored in for some reason. And let me tell you guys, it only goes downhill from here. Okay, so this is a mess. I guess since the only generation we knew was the first one, there were already 2 Pokemon that just evolved into 3 more of itself. Magneton and Dugtrio. I really liked Ditto, so I thought, you know, that would be a great idea if we could just have 3 Dittos as one big pink blob. So here we show that your artistic ability is only limited by how well you can trace something under the page. Ha, your Mew is too weak, Dr. Sai said. Mew return. Go Sparks. Go Mew, Dr. Sai said. Sparks, Thunderball. Mew! Can make a drinking game out of how many times we just say Mew with a lot of E's. Okay, so please explain to me how Ray can lose with his Mew to start, but then knock out Dr. Sai's Mew, and then for some reason, even though we're tied up 1-1, Ray wins. Wait, Ash said. I don't battle you. Why? Ray said. I will reveal that I am your father. I went to return to my gym after you left home. I'm sorry. That's okay, Dad, Ray said. In return, I will give you the Poke Badge. Thanks, Ray said. This is getting really good. You can tell we're getting really lazy with the illustrations, too. This one doesn't even have people. It's just an empty field. A figure came out in the darkness. So we meet again, he said. Then the trainer came out of the darkness. Arnie, Ray said. Well, let the battle begin. You got Executor. Executor uses Solar Beam. Mew, Mew said. Oh no, Ray said. Mew, Mew said, as he got up to fight some more. Ray was really excited to go fight his last challenge at the Elite Six. Once again, a trainer appeared. My name is Tommy, he said. So we're breaking the fourth wall now. You are no match for me. Let the battle begin. Darn, Dragonair dodged, Ray said. Oh no, Mewtwo's going to get hit. Just then, Mewtwo's eyes glowed blue, and suddenly Dragonair's Hyper Beam went back at it. Boom. Dragonair was hit and sent flying back and hit the wall. No! Well, you're no match for Dowfan, Arnie said. Go Dowfan. Go Mew, Ray said. So again, I think we're going off a poorly translated Japanese thing here. Gold and silver weren't out yet. Dowfan equals Donphan. And good lord, you would never know that by looking at our illustration of the thing. Ray, you have won our Pokemon League badge. It will be mailed to you on Tuesday. Sir, how did I win this badge? Oh, remember, you are the greatest Pokemon master in the world, he said. Bye. Of course. All right. Chapter 16, Pokeland World. Now, aside from the fact that land world might be one of the worst combinations of words ever, this is actually our first display of censorship in one of our works. Now, I think this is funny because neither of us went to any kind of church at the time, but we originally had this thing called Pokegod World, which was basically what a lot of internet websites referred to as the new Heart Gold, or sorry, not even Heart Gold, just regular Gold and Silver Pokemon. They called these new Pokemon Pokegods. They made up Pokemon called Pokegods. Basically, it was just all kinds of fan fiction combined over the course of the internet before Gold and Silver came out. But I guess someone was offended by us calling it Pokegod World, so Pokeland it is. Later, Ray faced another trainer called Joshua. Oh, that's me. Let the battle be B-E-G-N. Go, Pikachu, Joshua said. Mewtwo, go, Ray said. Pikachu, Thunder. Mewtwo, Ball Blast now. P. Inside the building was a purple tile on the ground. Ray stepped on it, and it warped him to a secret place. Inside was a Hane. Ray wanted it, so he quickly used his sparks to weaken it. Then he used his Mega Ball. No, Hane broke out of the Mega Ball. Do you see this illustration? Do you see who Hane actually is? Even 10 years ago, Hoppip was screwing with me. He just busts out of the ball. He doesn't want to be caught. He's gone. Now, before you guys start asking, I figured out, to an extent, why we called it Hane. If you look at the Japanese name of Hoppip, it's like Haneko, something like that. I think, again, we just took some bad translation, got that first syllable out somehow, and that became Hoppip. I can't think of any other reason why we would have called it Hane. Inside was Dr. Sai, of course. So my riddle really helped you, eh? Said Dr. Sai. Well, I'll tell you a secret, but you'll have to battle me. The secret is... Okay, so I guess he doesn't have to battle him. I'm Blaine's cousin. Now let's battle. I borrowed some of Blaine's Pokemon. Go Charizard. Go Wigglytuff, Ray said. Wigglytuff? Inflate Attack, Ray said, laughing. Suck in all the air you can. Wiggly. Wigglytuff said, sort of hovering. Okay, now blow. Woo! Char! So you're good. Go Venusaur. Then Wigglytuff picks up some gravel and slides at Venusaur. Wow, that's dirty fighting. Venusaur laughs and accidentally eats some gravel and faints. Then a warp portal took Ray back to his house. Ray sent out all of his Pokemon to sleep with him. Then Ray went to sleep and dreamed. He dreamed of his Pokemon adventure. He knew he had many challenges ahead. He was a Pokemon master. The end. Thank God. Thank land. Perhaps the best thing is that at the end of the 50-page disaster that is Mew and Mewtwo Strikes Back, we include a preview for the sequel, Ray and Mew, Friends Forever. Aside from the fact that it sounds like a horrible romance fan fiction, it's actually better than the original book in nearly 1/5 of the pages. For one, the entire book has a distinctive plot this time around, with several more actions taking place outside of battles. Yeah, there's some pretty goofy moments, such as Ray baking Mew a Mew-shaped pancake, and Ray and Ditto somehow creating an unpoppable plastic that turns into a trampoline shoe. But there are also a lot of surprisingly cool things in here too. For starters, the illustrations are much better and in full color, and the story is pretty cool too. The first battle takes place between Ray and his dad, Ash. Ash decides to test out his newly captured Missing No, which ends up infecting Ray's hometown and destroying his home. From there, they encounter Mew's Waterfall, a new mysterious location. The preview ends when Ray and friends bump into Jesse and James, who were surprisingly absent from the last book. And the worst part is, they capture Mew and take off with him in a rocket ship before Ray is able to catch them. And that's the end of the preview, and sadly, the end of our written Pokemon adventures. It looks like at some point we tried to step up the quality and make a typed version of the first book with full-color illustrations, but we only ever got through Chapter 6. Ironically, I think what ended up preventing our writing progress was the release of Gold and Silver itself. We got so engrossed in the real games that we slowly forgot about the adventures we were trying to craft ourselves. In the end, I think it's awesome to look back and see how big of an impact Pokemon had on our childhood. It's that same dedication and fondness that has me still making videos to this day. And while it might not be the greatest work of literature, in fact, it's very far from that, I'm glad I was able to share the book me and Tommy wrote so many years ago. Thanks for watching my little nostalgic trip, and as always, enjoy those little things that make you feel like a kid again.